Right. Well, hello. Welcome to another episode of Thoughts Rain. My name is Cameron, the blonde-haired one in our image. The one next to me is Christopher.
I will have to make that change.
Again, we are on location shooting here. So far, we haven't made it out of like Oswego. I guess we don't really like to drive anywhere, except for yourself. I live here. But currently, right now, we're in Westlake Park. It's one of the beautiful parks here in Lake Oswego. If you've been here, it's a great little area for sports. Kids, we're actually in the jungle gym right now, sitting on a park bench. There are no kids here, so don't worry about that. But I believe today's topic, we're going to be talking about a little bit about gun control, opinions, thoughts, anything that kind of comes up just because of recent events that have happened. That it's obviously a hot topic. So, why don't we start it off? Christopher, do you own a gun?
I do not, but I do have some friends that do own guns.
Yeah.
And my thoughts on that particular topic is I don't know what more we can do because it seems like we're punishing the wrong people. Because we're punishing the responsible gun owners by adding or thinking about more restrictions for gun ownership because
but if they already own it, it's not really much more restriction. We're talking about people trying to get it now,
right? And I understand that, but it still doesn't prevent for people who rob houses and then lo and behold, I've now come across a gun and now it's stolen.
It's kind of a random scenario, though.
Yeah. But, it still doesn't prevent that.
Yeah. But, there still needs to be more, background checks. I own guns.
Uh-huh.
I own a couple. One of which I don't think we should be allowed to own, which is an AR.
Uh-huh.
It's just fun to shoot.
So
There's no reason for it. I don't hunt at all, either. So
because you own a gun now, you probably know the process through it. So how easy is it to go and purchase a gun?
Pretty easy.
Is it pretty easy?
Yeah, just paperwork, basically.
Uh-huh.
Money and paperwork.
So they don't really do any kind of background check?
No, which is probably what they should.
Okay.
They run an extent, but it's not protective.
Right.
I'm a 28-year-old that owns 5 guns.
Wow.
Should I be really allowed to? Handguns, shotguns, and an AR. It's not necessary. My brother-in-law hunts. I can see his point of why he owns his gun, and he's pretty responsible. They have gun safes.
Right.
And he goes hunting every weekend and fishing and stuff like that. He has bows and arrows as well, and goes every weekend with his friends, and they are doing just fine. I don't think we should be punishing those people.
Right.
But again, I think the question and the argument always is background control.
Right.
And people that have, Oregon is putting up to bill passing a law to restrict people that have domestic disputes on their charges or restraining orders and stuff like that, which I think is a step in the right direction, which is what we should be doing.
Yeah, it does make sense. It's just, because there are going to be those pros.
Yeah.
That are for, what is it called? NRA, right? NRA?
Yeah, the NRA.
Yeah.
National Rifle Association.
And those guys are going to be like, oh, look, they're trying to take your amendment right to bear arms away from you. And they're really not trying to. It's just like what you said. If you're already a responsible gun owner, you shouldn't be afraid of any kind of requirements or issues that you're going to get. So I think... the people that don't own guns currently right now are looking for guns.
Here comes the middle schoolers, I told you.
I see.
They just came out of the bathroom together.
Oh, okay. So
sorry, we're taking a segment here. We're obviously observing people that are walking around us and these high school kids, or junior high, kids.
Actually, you know what? We should do one of those play-by-plays. Where it showed us, on a video.
Like that video that I showed you.
That video showed me a while ago to just say, do play-by-play. I be the play-by-play, you be the color guy.
Well,
we just do, just pick a random video and we just...
Well, I can play this one. There's 3 boys that probably are about the ages of 14. Just came out of a public bathroom in a park together.
They probably just finished smoking marijuana.
So I'm assuming they were doing some type of drug. If not, they were juuling is the new thing, which is a e-cigarette. Which I don't understand. I coach high school, so I'm kind of in the know for that stuff.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I have all my kids are in the 20s, so I don't have any teens.
Yeah, you don't got to worry about that. But
So what they do now is their own responsibility. I had no more responsibility as a parent to actually be accounted for any of their actions. So.
Yeah. Well, anyways, back to I mean. Back to the background control. I think it's definitely a step that needs to be considered as certain if you have mental health, like obviously going through some type of screening, going through background checks if you have domestic abuse or anything or restraining order, you shouldn't be allowed to own a gun. But I mean, ultimately for me, like obviously the conversations go back and forth with this isn't the right time. And I mean, you see all the high school kids.
It's just...
which is a huge thing. Like people are actually, like companies now are dropping the NRA as endorsements, which I think is the right thing to do. But I think it has to be inside the federal. We need to stop allowing them to be able to buy politicians.
Right.
Like the funding that they do. Like first, I mean, obviously being a young person and being a young voter, I don't understand why our government, you're allowed to pay our leadership. Like why are corporations allowed to sponsor them? If anything, they should have like a set salary, be like, you get paid $80,000 a year, that's all you get. We're electing these people to take control of us and give us laws and protect us, yet they're allowed to rake in millions upon millions of dollars from corporations. That only like breeds bribery and favoritism.
It does. And you know, and your point there is valid. But in regards to like gun ownership, again, going back to, let's say, you said yourself that you own about 5 or 6 guns, right? And let's say like later on, you're obviously going to keep those guns, but let's say you and your wife later on have a child, and then that child turns out to be like one of those 14-year-olds that we just saw walk by here, and he says, "Oh, Daddy has a gun. I'm going to go and take it, break into his gun safe. Well, I know what the combination is, so blah blah blah." And then he goes off and he goes to a school and does the shooting. You know, again, I think we're punishing the wrong people here in regards to like trying to gun control. Gun control is such a hard topic. To me, it ranks up there with politics and religion. You know, it's so hard because it's. I
mean, I can go into those ones too.
I know.
I mean, I don't honestly think they're hard topics. I know a lot of people say they're hard topics. They're complex. It's not to me. For gun control, it's protect our lives, protect other people's lives. Yeah. Why do people need those type of guns?
Right.
I have no reason to have any of the guns that I do, other than the fact that they're fun to shoot.
And that you can own them.
And that I can own them. My brother-in-law has a purpose for him. He hunts. Right. I am perfectly fine with that. He uses every part of his hunt. He makes food and stuff like that, and that's great. He enjoys that. But everyone else, like, protect your, like, my favorite thing every time gun control comes up is Jim Jeffries, the comedian, and his argument on gun control, because it's just so funny. Because, I mean, a guy who was assaulted in Amsterdam, I believe it was, or somewhere in London, I think. Yeah. But everyone's always like, well, if you had a gun, like, think of how you could have protected yourself. Yeah. And it's not, well, hold on, sir, don't kill me yet. I got a combo. Because then you got the whole argument of, well, I'm a responsible gun owner, I have a safe. Well, then it's not protecting yourself.
No, it's
and
not.
then if it's not in a safe, well, then your kids can get it.
All right.
So then again, it's like these people are just, their arguments are so just, you can shoot so many holes through it.
Yeah, and you know, it's going around and around in a circle.
And it's going
to. And there's no solution to it. It's
not.
Just, okay, so even if we did, or they did pass something, what now happens to the people out there that currently own like an AR, like you? You know, it's like, okay, so, you know, leisure activity and going out to a range or even some remote area where there's no people around and just shooting for fun is your amendment right? You have the right to, but where do we draw the line though? And when and where do we draw the line? That's
assault rifles. That's it.
Yeah,
that's where you need to draw the line. Why? There's no civilian reason to have one of those guns.
Right. And these are like fully automatic ones,
well, semi-automatics.
Okay.
Like even with like my 22, I mean, I've got like a banana clip for it, which is just aftermarket, which is stupid though.
That gives you more.
Gives me more ammo, but it's like it takes a lot to actually probably empty that clip. Whereas the AR just and it just keeps going.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't personally own a gun. I do know some people, and I know one more person now that owns guns. And I for myself, I don't feel enough danger to myself to be actually a gun owner. And I don't have the I guess the desire to go and just randomly go to like a shooting range and just shoot.
Yeah.
So
see, I used to compete when I was younger, so that's kind of the reason I did it. Like I had a rifle and like belonged to a club and used to compete and did that. And that was probably the only reason. Like it was just fun. Like my dad put me into it. It was kind of like cool. He's kind of into that thing. I mean, honestly, I don't think I've actually fired one of my guns in a couple years. So my dad takes them out. My brother-in-law, I think, has probably used the shotgun or the 22. But
so as a gun owner, then what are your views in that if they you know what the two sides are wanting. One is it's ridiculous that anybody wants to take your amendment rights away, and then the other part of it is just saying no, we're not wanting to take it away. We're just wanting to heighten the restrictions,
make it harder for someone with mental issues or someone that's trying to do harm.
Right. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that? I mean,
for me, I don't know. I know there's a lot of people in the world that are actually using their guns for hunting, or maybe they actually do self prevented classes and stuff like that, self-defense classes. I did it. I mean, my dad kind of pushed me into it just when I was younger. He kind of is into that things, but even he does it more for his protection. But again, even if I was to look at why he thinks it's because he thinks the worst thing's ever going to happen.
Right.
He thinks he's going to be in that Albertsons Wednesday, and all of a sudden he just hears a spray of bullets, and he can come out of nowhere and just go, "I got you."
Right.
Which I think is statistically just stupid. I don't agree with that at all. And for the people that think the gun is for protection, I think it's stupid. The argument right now is, oh, we should arm our teachers. That's just BS. That's not going to happen. And I get it that people want it for protection, but the likelihood of them actually being in a situation that's gonna need the right to actually use that gun is just so far in between that it's just not real.
Yeah.
From the other side about the people trying to or from the people that are the government's trying to take my gun away are mostly conspiracy theories or people that are kind of more into the government's against me kind of thing. But I mean, they have to understand that the Second Amendment was made in a time and written for a time that a government could be overtaken by a group of people armed with their own guns. Now it's not even realistic. If you look what happened in Oregon over, I don't remember quite exactly the facts, but the militia took over that farm with the government doing it. The government came in, whether it did actually extend a pretty long standoff, they ended up coming in and just railing them.
I think that was Eastern Oregon. Was it Eastern?
Yeah, it was
Oregon?
Eastern Oregon.
Something like that.
And I mean,
Pendleton or something like that, if I recall.
I mean, if they really wanted us, they're going to do it with precision, and they're going to do it from an office.
Yeah.
Whereas we're going to be out in the street holding up a AR-15.
I know.
Looking down the barrel of a drone.
Yeah.
Like that argument is just stupid as well.
Right.
So I don't really know, but I mean, I think background checks should be in place. I think it should make it harder. And again, if you look at some of the arguments from the kids that are victims from the Florida shooting, they're trying to say, hey, we're not trying to take away your guns. We're just trying to make it harder maybe not even harder. We're just trying to make it more realistic for a background check.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of ridiculous how, again, but it comes back to our government again. They're being bought by the NRA.
Yeah, and
over what was it, 90% of people are in favor of gun control.
Right. And
and we can't pass a law.
Yeah.
We can't pass a single thing on background checks.
I'm not one way or the other. I'm just more of the same thing, where definitely like what you said of arming our teachers is not the answer. Definitely not. And it doesn't now. What do we do with our kids on recess when they're outside?
Yeah.
Are we going to have teachers or security people out there patrolling the parks outside? I mean,
our schools are basically going to become like military grounds,
right? I mean,
which is what one of our representatives says.
But how dangerous? I mean, how does that put an ease of mind to a parent who's dropping their child off?
I don't remember if you remember going to school, but I wouldn't want any of my teachers to have a arm.
Yeah.
Be armed.
Right. Yeah.
Especially when you get that one substitute that you're just looking at them like, we're going to make her cry today. And she pulls out a gun.
I went to school in a different era, in a different time when you went to grade school, and
let's be honest. You went to the school when the people yelled flash, you had to go. Come on.
Well,
yeah, you did.
Yeah. Well, we had like earthquake and fire drills and stuff like that. But when I went to school, which when grade school, it was in the early 80s, and it was teachers, you didn't talk back to the teachers. And you didn't even make any kind of ruckus or anything like that. I mean, unlike now, it's like, I bet you those 14-year-olds that just went...
Dude, a kid that talks back... So, again, as I'm a coach for, like, little kids as well, they talk back to you all the time.
Right. Yeah.
I'd love to just... I mean, I'm not going to if anyone from my employment actually watches this, but I really want to smack one. I don't have kids yet, so it's really frustrating when I have to coach 10-year-olds. I really just want to hit them. I'm not going to.
I said...
Don't worry, but...
No, either way, I don't know. It's just you said so much, and definitely I think we're targeting the wrong people.
We got a little kid coming in. He's gonna go down the slide.
Yeah, I think we're targeting the wrong people again. And we're punishing the wrong people, which are responsible gun owners. Definitely, I agree with you on heightening and putting more the restrictions on purchasing a gun. And maybe even go through like a revisit as well too. Maybe if you own a gun, maybe you're required to go on a requirement training.
Yeah, you should be trained at least once a year.
Right.
Like if you own one, you need to have like a license for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then once a year it'll be
like
on that license.
It'll be like your driver's license, right? Where it expires.
Yeah.
And then every time when it expires, if you want to go and renew, then you have to go through training, and then if you don't renew and you get caught with an expired license of carrying guns, then your guns can be confiscated from you.
Yeah, which would be nice to see, but seeing our government probably put that into place is never going to happen.
Yeah, and it's
I mean, honestly, I don't think we're never going to get anywhere on gun control.
No,
I mean, I kind of thoroughly believe that we have too many people within power that are bringing in money.
Yeah,
and it's never going to happen. I find that really depressing.
Right,
but the conversation's always going to go in circles. I mean, hopefully with the Florida kids right now, there's definitely like a movement going.
It seems like there's some good, but it always happens like that though. I mean, you remember like Columbine, right? And then all those other shootings in all those schools as well too.
I mean,
nothing
if Sandy
really
Hook didn't do
happened.
anything,
right? Exactly.
It's not going to change anything. Now.
So it's not going to change.
Pockets are too deep.
Yeah, it's not going to change anything right now. I don't know. Maybe past our lifetime.
Hopefully.
I know for sure not in my lifetime. Maybe
towards the end of mine. After I have kids in school.
Yeah, yeah, and your kids are pushing for it. Then maybe, but yeah, it's a hard topic because you can always dance around it.
Yeah,
and similar to like I was saying earlier about religion. It's belief. It's a belief that I believe something like this, and I have a firm belief on what I believe.
Yeah.
Whether you believe it or not, or you think what my beliefs are, it's so hard. It's the same thing with gun control. It's a belief in saying, I have every right, because it's my amendment right to bear arms.
Yeah.
That I should own all types and any type of gun to what the law provides.
Well, hopefully our government believes in us and keeping us alive.
Yeah.
But that's kind of our thoughts to you, Rain, here, because it's just us talking to each other. But again, thank you for watching. Thank you to Podly, our provider and sponsor. podgily.com, podly.com. Go ahead, go look at them. Go ahead and like us and subscribe. Thank you, and see you guys next time on our next location and adventure.
Yeah, and let us know down in the comments on what your thoughts are on gun control as well too. We'd like to hear that as well too. So thanks.